Hello everybody. In today's video, I'll be telling you a story. I was never really a shy kid, though never really popular either. I'd always try to form a friendship with every person I'd see, but I've learned not to be too friendly, or you could end up being forgotten. 1 week ago, I slouched down at my desk, not really caring to listen to the teacher. I used to love science. I'd always be the first one into the science classroom, and always be the last one out, asking questions about subjects we wouldn't be learning about for a couple of years. And now, science was my least favorite class. My 7th grade teacher at least made it me want to learn, but my buffoon teacher this year just writes on the board and throws a packet at us. I dropped my head onto the cold desk and began to doze off. Michael, are you paying attention? I shot up and looked around the gray classroom. My teacher, Mr. Skuld, was standing in the front of the whiteboard staring at me. I felt the rest of the class staring at me as well. Yes, I said quickly as I read the board in case of a question. Well, it looked like you were about to fall asleep, he replied with a smug look on his face. I heard some other students start to giggle. I began to brighten. If you're going to sleep, I'd recommend something other than one of my desks, he continued, standing right next to my desk, staring down. That actually got a kid to burst out laughing. What type of comedy does a kid like that way? I was probably as bright as a tomato now. Luckily, the bell saved me right as Mr. Skuld was about to say something else. I rushed out of the classroom and headed to my locker. My brother Sean was waiting for me there. Somebody told me you caused another scene in science today, he said with concern in his eyes. He was the one who started it, bro, I yelled at him. He just stared at me. Yet again, I felt like everyone was staring at me. But this time, I felt a darker presence. I brushed it off and went to my locker. 25-46-7, Sean said, looking as I twisted the knob to 25. I know how to open my locker, I said with a glare at him. We didn't say anything else. When we got home, my mom was in the kitchen, starting dinner. How was your day? She asked me as I walked past the kitchen door. I just glanced at her and walked to my room. What's wrong with him? My mom asked Sean as I closed the door. His teacher humiliated him in class today, Sean said with a low voice. The same teacher? She asked. Yeah, he replied. I had enough. I didn't want to hear about it anymore. So I went off to bed. I let my body go limp and just lay there until my brain got its rest from the work all day. Wake up, honey, I heard my mom say in a nice tone, but I didn't want to be awake. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to see Mr. Skuld's smug face ever again. Come on, bro, you really need to wake up, I heard my brother call in. I got up and opened the door to see both of them standing there. What do you want? I asked, looking up at the two. It's time for dinner, my mom said. Oh, I said quietly, feeling bad about how I had sounded while talking to them. We went to the kitchen and sat down. I looked down at the food. It was steak, my favorite food. I then noticed that my mom and brother were both staring at me. Okay, there's more than just us just eating dinner, isn't there? I said after finishing my first bite. Well, I went ahead and had it so you could switch out of that science class you hate, my mom said with a nervous smile. I didn't say anything. I just sat there in shock. I'd be out of that stupid classroom. I didn't know what to say. I thought for a very long time. What class will I be switched into? I finally asked. Well, it looks like they're putting you in band. They're gonna have you be a percussionist, my mom replied. But it's already halfway through the year. How will he learn? My brother pointed out. Well, he'll be having some kid named Zach Greenberg teach him the basics, my mom said. The creeper boy? Sean said with a chuckle. I'd never met him, so it's been nice to try and make friends with this Zach Greenberg kid. And boy, do I regret that choice.